All we have to do is make the magic. That's what we do.
Whether chatting with coworkers,
Good morning. Welcome to Soul Cycle.
or meditating,
I have this prayer ritual that I do before classes.
Dylan Hurwich does everything with intention, something he picked up in early recovery. And it stuck with him for more than 6 years.
Sobriety date is March 20th of 2015.
To know Dylan's story is to know his past. He was just a boy when he began experimenting with substances.
I was kind of a wild kid. I got in trouble, and around 13, 14, I started drinking and doing other things, using drugs a little bit.
Dylan says he committed to his drug use, and the habit got progressively worse over a span of roughly 10 years. But he says there were times he wanted to stop.
I found that I really couldn't, and I genuinely would want to. And every single night, I would make a decision to myself that it was over, that tomorrow was day one. And I would wake up every morning and I would renegotiate on that deal.
The teeter-totter of user to sobriety became a routine.
I insisted that I could do this on my own. So I said, I need 2 weeks to try to stop. And I think I maybe went 2-3 days without using heroin, and then used again.
Dylan's relationship with his parents also suffered. His battle with addiction was a struggle for them too.
They kicked me out and they held me accountable, and they had learned when I was in treatment that that's the action step to take in the event that I use again, is that they have to cut me off and detach from me. And they did that. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Homeless, Dylan lived in his car for weeks. Finally, he called someone who had offered him help before and was willing to help him again.
And they checked me back into detox, and that was on March 19th of 2015.
First, sobriety.
And I woke up, and I don't know, for the grace of God, it was kind of it felt like my last chance to really do it.
Then, Dylan focused on his physical health.
I connected with it immediately, especially Soul Cycle, the aesthetic, just the energy of the space.
It's gonna sink down into the music.
I have to be inspired by the music being played.
Today, he teaches those Soul Cycle classes.
And right away lifts up into your seat.
What I was taught was that we don't get sober just to stay in this confine. Ultimately, my sobriety, my spiritual condition, if you will, is defined by how does it manifest in the world, right? How do I communicate with humanity? How do I serve others?
And has accomplished something many in recovery strive for, mending the relationships once thought ruined.
I knew up here that I loved my family, and I felt it in here, but I didn't act like it. And I have one older sibling, his name's Jordan, and my mother, Candace, and my father, Morris Hurwich, are still together. They've been together for longer than I can count. Being able to be their son and to try to be a brother to my brother, and being able to be present in those relationships.
So on Saturday, we'll air a 30-minute special called Taking Control, Stories of Recovery. It'll include all of our Recovery Week stories, plus my own recovery story. It's Saturday evening at 6:30 right here on 9 News.
And you'll talk a little bit more about your own story tomorrow.
Yeah, but something that Dylan and I have in common is that last comment that he made about being present. That's actually a conversation I had with my mom when I sat down and talked to her and kind of wanted to make amends for everything that I have did or done. And she was like, you've already made amends because you're present. And I knew that I hadn't been present for so long. And that's a piece of Dylan's story too.
Wow.
I mean, I think about what his parents, the decision they had to make to step away from their son in order to help him. That's got to be so hard for them. But really, as he said, that was kind of the thing that nudged him to be where he is today.
And that's why I want to continue, with this series even after this week, because there are so many stories that are still untold, and there are those pieces like with the family. The family goes through a lot.
Yes.
It's not just the person, not just the addict. The family has to deal with it, and just imagine how hard it is for him to talk about that, what it was for his parents just to say,
oh my gosh,
I can't.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
As a mom, I can't even imagine. But I mean, obviously he's doing incredible now. What a great story. Yeah.
Dylan is so much fun, and I will just say, one of those Soul Cycle classes that he teaches, it's not easy.
Oh, no, it doesn't look
It's not easy.
Oh my gosh, although it looks really fun.
Yeah,
He looks like a good instructor.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Eddie.